I'm 20 minutes late. I woke up late. I was up late. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for partying. Hey, sup? I still have things to plug in here into the doohickeys. It is Monday, 4/29/24. Uh, that's today's date. Uh, and let me grab my thingy. Oh, y'all are already here waiting for me. Yeah. Okay. Pop out the chat. Close this. Now I can see. Good morning, Willie. Nobody called me. Well, I mean, maybe somebody called me, but I I woke up. I was up till 3. How? I don't fucking know. Okay. I haven't even had a sip of coffee yet. This has probably never happened before that I can recall. Where I went on broadcast with no, in the morning with no coffee. Uh, Sorry for partying. Sorry for partying. Okay. Um, I didn't plug the chat thing in. Watch this. Now I can do it. Uh, okay. Come on now. Come on now. Here we are. Party people. Party people. I'm just going to take this buy me a coffee thing down because buy me a coffee uh takes like sometimes 3 weeks or a month to get paid the money that people give you. Uh that sucks. I don't even know why I let Doug talk me into it. Or I did it myself, but he was like, it's like, the thing that people like to use. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about what people like. Bro, everybody has one. Yeah, well, I guess I do too. Uh, Good morning, Amy and Barb and Ann. Uh, and, bro, everybody's got one, so you might as well go get vaccinated. I don't know. Doug took that as a insult, not even an insult, but like a go kill yourself. Like that was basically, oh no, now I said it and it's gonna fuck with the thing because I've only been on the broadcast for less than 5 minutes and I said, go KI double hockey sticks yourself. But to him, that's what that was, a suicide. Fuck it. I don't like being censored. And I don't think other people should either. Entheta is short for interbulated theta and means a person or thing that is destructive and upset, usually referring to someone or something against Scientology. Now, this isn't the only EN word. Here's another fun one. Enmeshed, short for interbulated messed, matter, energy, space, time, which means anything material which is in a disorganized state. And then there's interbulate, to upset. You interbulated me. I'm interbulated. You're in theta. I'm interbulated because you interbulated me, and your mind is enmeshed. Your house is enmeshed. It's interbulated, messed. Well, if I'm all those things, then I'm going to own it. And instead of calling my channel Wog World, which was canceled because I'm apparently some racist asshole. Fuck it. I will be in Theta. And I will own it. And I won't do the EN. I would do the IN. Because that's part of me owning it. You get it? See? Or am I just not awake enough? Not sure, honestly. So conceptually, the idea of Entheta is someone who is against, someone who is someone or something that is contrary, being contrary to life, healthy, productive life, people, situations. Anything that's against that is in theta. In other words, a challenge or a problem or a difficult situation. Very in theta. Man, this is some in theta shit. Russia trying to take Ukraine, man, that's in theta as fuck. People killing people in theta. Wearing a shirt that has the, like that I have, that has the founding fathers with snake tongues coming out of their mouths, says, "Give the Black Hills back." That's in theta. You know, this is the loaded language that's used, and I don't speak it. I don't say it that much, unless there's something that's difficult to describe. It was supposed to. Here, look. It's not 100% my fault. I'm late today. There was supposed to be a heavy ass rain that was going to start at, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning, which I'm trying to find out what the hell. They canceled school for it. So what the hell, damn guy? And now all I see, what in the fuck? Heavy rain from 12 to 8. And I'm only seeing a 57% chance. Now that is some bullshit. That is some bullshit. That is Entheta. Yeah, what the hell, damn guy? Hey, Lisa. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. Heard. If there's anything I could do to help, just let me know. I don't know if I'm a very helpful person. Whitney, morning. It is 4/29/2024. And I was 20 minutes late. It's already 10:34. That's in Theta, and I have interbulated mess in the kitchen. See, like if you got a whole sink full of dishes, that'd be interbulated mess. Lydia, also, welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute. Let me pull up some more whatnots. Figure out what the hell I was supposed to be talking about today. I mean, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Always. Yeah. So we did the definition and the concept of that. Dixie 504. That's somebody from Backflash, I think. What do y'all want to do? What do you want to do? I don't know. Tell me. What should we talk about? I'm waking up. I've been balls to the wall for 2 weeks. My son is eating. Drinking V8 at least. Playing in the dirt for once. In the sand and the beach. Very proud of him. He made 2 basketball goals. He's short and he made it on a regulation goal. Very proud of my son. Let's interbulate some mess. Okay. Let's see. What mess can I interbulate? I'm gonna take this. You can't see hardly. I'm gonna ball it up and interbulate it. There we go. There's some. You just throw it on the ground. Take something. There you go. That's what we could do. We take something and throw it on the ground. Interbulated mess, bitch. Do it. Do it now. Oh. Now, I have a coffee cup back at the house. Good morning, baby. That has marks on it that says how awake I am based on how much coffee I've drank. And I'm about right here. I'm just above half. Take some mess and interbulate it. Take a ball of paper. Take a paper. Take a piece of paper. I can't talk. Take a piece of paper. Worst broadcaster ever. Take a piece of paper, ball it up, throw it on the ground. I'm not a part of your system. I do in mist. Oh, well, the church lady, huh? Well, aren't we just all happy with our little satanic rituals here? Isn't that special? We're all going to hell, aren't we? Well, I hope it's worth it. To her, I love doing the church lady. My voice ain't warmed up. I did a lot of singing in the car. And I woke up with like the sinus or snoring, something. Feels kind of like tractor was in my sinuses or something. Also did a lot of talking on the phone. I'm also, oh yeah, Cynthia is posting. I'm broke. But, I have tons of value in my life. I'm rich. I'm rich, but I'm broke. I have y'all. Could it be Entheta? Yes, it's Theta. Could it be Satan? Yay. We're getting the church lady reference. We're old. Congratulations, everyone. You're old. That's Entheta. Oh, don't say that. That's interpolating. This kind of shit is not allowed. You need to get all that in mess cleaned up, cut the Entheta calm, and stop interpolating other people. Okay. Just shut your mouth. What am I going to talk about? Let's talk about my record, Pain and Suffering. Let's talk about that. I've avoided talking about that subject matter for fucking 2 years. Let's talk about the record. Does anyone listen to it? I might get interpolated talking about it. Y'all will listen? Y'all want to listen to the record? Okay, well, I'm down for it. I'm here for it. I do need peanut butter because I just got the hiccups. These little nicotine pouches give me the damn hiccups really bad. And it's no joke. You don't want to hear me hiccuping the whole time. Please stand by. I'll run the intro again. All right, that's about how things are going. I got some interpolated mess here. There we go. Let's unfuck that. This is fun, right? I'm doing a great job. Okay. Oh. Whew. Yes, Lisa, my record. Apparently, I've done a very poor job promoting it for the last 2 years. So, uh, generally, what I was told, anyways, a sort of measuring stick after you put out a record is to do at least 100 shows, promote it. It was just not possible. Yes, my record. Yeah, the story behind the song. That's kind of why I'm promoting it. Like, there is something behind every song for sure. And since I haven't promoted it, I'm going to have to promote it, even though it's 2 years old. There's still relevant stuff there because I never promoted it. It never got promoted properly. And there's a lot of shows need to do. Yeah, for sure. Love me some PB. Yeah. It stops the hiccups for me. I don't know how or why. Yeah, good morning, Willie. I know I'm not awake yet. I was 20 minutes late. I expected, in my defense, the weather was supposed to rain. I saw the rain clouds. They were huge when I drove. I almost said flew. When I drove back from New Orleans yesterday, massive columns of clouds ready to just like a cow piss on a flat rock. And it didn't happen. And I don't understand how. Where did it go? Now it's saying from noon to 8. Oh. I was looking forward to sleeping. And you know what? If it had started raining, I might have stayed in bed. But I woke up to pee. And I was like, what? It can't be later than 10 o'clock because the rain should be here. Did she tell you about that, Willie? About that idiot that pulled out in front of us we were going 70 miles an hour and he's driving a mulcher unit that's mounted on the back of a rental truck so that he wouldn't have to have a CDL to operate it. Company out of California. He pulls right out in front of 70 mile an hour traffic with 12 cars behind us. And I had to do evasive maneuvers, defensive driving to not hit this guy. Oh, I was pissed off. Cynthia called, got the plate called, and then we made a formal complaint because this was potentially multiple fatal injury. Could have been fatalities. 12-car pileup. Give me a break, man. Learn to drive. And with the wind out, too. The wind was brutal. So I am in Theta, according to people in my former life in Scientology. I am nothing but a big ball of Entheta. I talk to SPs. I encourage SPs to talk. and whether they're declared or not, that's a thing. I didn't go to my committee of evidence. I did all these horrible, horrible things in Scientology. I've enslaved civilizations in past lives. I've murdered my wives. I've killed children. I'm a bad, 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 bad to the bone dude. In Theta. Yeah, it was about 150 feet. So it's very little reaction time. We're lucky. We're lucky that I had to take a defensive driving class and took a, I don't know if you call it an offensive driving class. It's like a racing class. And to learn how to gain control of your vehicle if you lose control, and how to do the bumper maneuver, the pit maneuver. I am the worst of the worst. Clearly. So let me find some pictures. You guys like pictures? We like pictures, right? How do I tell the fucking story of this album? I started writing it in 2017. Some of it I wrote right here. Not right here, literally. Right here on YouTube, I would practice and play songs, and a lot of those songs ended up on the record, but some of them are very old. One of them was on another record under a different name, my legal name, and there's an old version of The Good Die Young on that record. Well, in this case, Willie, regarding the insurance, this was a company, so they have to have insurance. Yeah. It just, maybe that rain went further south. The wind kept blowing it further south, and it's just going to hammer the coastline. We're not getting jack shit here. Oh my God. Willie, that's terrible. See, something like that, and I got precious cargo in the car, and says I can think fast. It's more like slow-mo. It's not fast, but the time period is fast. But everything that happens feels like it's in slow-mo. For me, anyways. Because in just a second or two, maybe three, we would have been eating that bumper. And that pissed me off. I wasn't scared or anything. I was pissed. It's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you driving this vehicle like this? Okay. I did a couple of behind the songs on my other YouTube channel. They're probably really boring. Let me get the main screen up here. With the pictures. And a picture's worth 1,000 words, is what they say. So, sometimes I wonder how and or why there's numbers of people watching this. I have not much to say. But anyways, let me turn this nameplate off. That's for a different broadcast. So we'll look at pictures. So that's my buddy Rick. He did the strings on the record. That's John Landry took the photos, and this was like pre-session, before the session. We're talking about stuff. We got some stuff. He already moved some of these gobos. They're called gobos around um, for isolation purposes, in case we needed to use the stuff behind there. And Travis was playing the drums. There's the little table. This was a staged photo that John wanted. He wanted some photos, what do you call it? Yeah, posing. Another staged photo, which ended up being one. This was one. I think this basically was the album cover. Um, that's the Baldwin piano. Staged, fake, fake picture there. I don't even know what chord that is. Let's see. I see a G. I'm playing a D and an A and an E. G D A E. G D A E. All right, so that's an interesting chord. It's a real chord, but I was just staging it. This is the corner in the studio. Whatever, bunch of guitars in the corner that I could have played. I mostly did all the guitar stuff at home. Here's the left side of the control room. Bunch of speakers, some preamps. And then this is what it looked like back in 2020. It's all different now, but essentially the same thing. And back there is where we were just. And in between, there's a hallway, and those are isolation booths. And I played the Fender Rhodes, and that was during an actual take. I don't know what. This was all during takes. This might have been during just a drum check. And there's Rick learning some of the music, right? He's got the paper in front of him. Uh, there's a performance while I'm showing pictures of Rick. I wanted to show y'all. Uh, shouldn't have any problems. Uh, and it'll introduce you to a new artist, maybe, if you don't already know Ed Harcourt. Uh, and an amazing song called "Give Me More Than Love" or "More Than Love." This is it, or is it? No. Uh, let's see. Let me put Rick's name in there. Yeah, here it is. So this is a 4.5 minute song. It is really great. Uh, you give me more than love. And, you know, when I started researching Rick's work, I found artists that were very similar in terms of the I don't know, the rawness, I guess. Um, and also we talk about in the interview after the record about music that sounds sad but is redemptive, has some redemption, some redemptive quality. And then there's beauty in that. And as a string player, he gets to really uh, delve into those spaces. And it can be so beautiful and make you cry. You know, it may feel like sad, but it comes out happy. Check this out. This is Rick doing his thing and probably over in England with Ed Harcourt. I love this song. This song kind of sold me on Rick's abilities because he really immerses himself in the music and his performance. And where's the volume? It's muted. That's why it's not playing. Here we go. Okay. It's going to be a little noisy because it's a live show. I mean, come on, you know? Come on with it, right? Am I right? Oh no, I don't want to open media encoder. And I definitely don't want the next video playing. There we go. Yeah, the strings, the performance, yeah, all of that stuff, man. Jesus. Like, like I said, this was one of the things that sold me on Rick's approach. You know, I mean, he's totally pro. Went to a university, but that don't mean necessarily shit to me. He's also a really great producer. That also doesn't mean much to me. You have to get along with the people that you know. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can make a record in all kinds of ways. There's all kinds of ways. Bonjour, Martha. There's all kinds of ways to make a record. Uh, and I for the material that I wanted to do, I wanted I wanted to make a record that started slow. We took our time. We thought about the music. We discussed it down to the nitty gritty. I wanted a producer that was as interested in this stuff as I was, which is not easy to find. That part is actually tricky because, um, you know, I've produced records and artists will come to me want to produce a record, and 9 times out of 10, it's a no go. It's like they're not ready. They're not ready to look at their material, or their material isn't developed enough. So, yeah, that's my favorite Ed Harcourt song. It's off the album Furnaces, and I posted it in Discord under the Music Lounge. Discord released a bunch of new terms of service. If you're still doing Discord and are wanting to do Discord, there's the Discord. It's not super duper active, but you know, I look at it and it's there, and it's another point of contact. So those strings, hearing that song and that vibe, really just the slow driving beat, the performances of Ed Harcourt, his vocal performance is very inspired in the moment, and so was Rick's playing, and he was just playing one of his 4 instruments, and I imagined, wow, what would that sound like uh, with a full with all of his instrumentation. So there's some other pictures. Yeah, these pictures that came from John, pre-session stuff, getting set up. There's a Bogdan bass, the box bass, the Bog Dog pedals, some candid little photos. I use this one as the photo for the 2023 single Living in the Moment. And there's Travis, the wide shots. All right. So, I don't know. Might be the only record I ever make with him. 'Cause you never know. All right. And here's a funny picture of me and Don Rollins, the guy who wrote 5 o'clock somewhere, and I'm He's so white. He's like, he didn't even know what I was doing. I'm like, fist bump, dog. He's like, shake hand. And that's Lauren Cooper from the Loaded 44s. We played a show one time at a brew club. The single off the record is "Don't Give Up." This was the first thing we released in 2021, and the name kind of says it all. I'm not showing the fucking screen, and I'm talking about stuff. You gotta call me out on that stuff. So this is a single from the album that I don't promote, and yeah, yeah. If you happen to have any questions or you get bored and you're like, I want to hear about some Scientology, by all means, ask. I don't care. But it's not on the forefront of my mind this morning. There's some stories, at least one long story that is liable to come up in Backflash soon. How soon, I don't know. But I'm going to pull up the instrumental, of the of this track. And hear it without the voices. Hear it without the voice. And hear the strings. Rick said that it all came together really simply because of the way that I wrote the music. He didn't have to think much about it. He could just play. And that's nice because you get a better performance the less you have to think about it, the more you can disappear into it. This is the instrumental mix here. There's some organ, some Rhodes, and piano. Now, if I remember correctly, how old am I on the album cover? 2020, 39, 40, something like that. Yeah, Whitney, the drums were mic'd up real good with some good mics and a nice space in a good studio. Drum sounds are some of the hardest things to capture because they're the attack is so high that the sound bounces off everything. You need a proper it's part science and part magic. Honestly, I've met a ton of producers that do all sorts of weird stuff to get drum sounds, and I was pretty impressed with Rick's. You know, he just was like, okay, bup, 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 we're good, and then he dialed it in. I think the drums sound pretty good too. If I remember correctly, if I can remember my own shit, the lyrics are, don't let go of that feeling. I know you've lost all hope. Turn your eyes from the ceiling. Look ahead out on the road. Still a long way to go. All right. Okay, so that was the second part of the first verse, and if I remember correctly, if I know my own damn lyrics, there's a long way to go. I know life gets you down. Uh, you're at the end of your rope, and you're hanging from a tiny little thread. You got no place to go. And you know, sometimes it's too hard to cry. Yeah, you keep it all locked up inside, and one day, maybe, you can let it all go, but I don't really know. There's Rick with his strings. All right, so if I remember correctly, the next part is you lust for blood, but I smell your fear, and if you didn't want comfort, I don't know why you're here. How do I explain that? What I meant? Does it mean anything? Um, it's all subjective, right? You take what you take from it. That's why I make it. You take what you want, need, but subjectively for me, uh, this is referring to relationships, romantic or otherwise. There's something that you don't have yourself that you are looking for in another person. Uh, but there's a danger involved with relationships. You may get hurt. You may lose that person. That person may do something unexpected. So there's this craving or whatever you want to call it for contact, human contact. You lust for it. I feel like that was an appropriate word. But there's fear involved. So um, I guess at a extreme level, which is kind of where I went, you lust for blood, not necessarily violence. Relationships can lead to violence. It's sort of catch-all. Whether it's family, you want to be with somebody and have children. You're afraid. You're afraid of all the things a relationship will bring to you to deal with. But when you find yourself in that situation with another person and there's comfort involved, then you've seems like that's what you were seeking. And if you didn't want it, then why do you have it? So, I feel like it's somewhat of a acknowledging lyric and a warning, sort of, and also a empowering lyric, because if you didn't want it, you don't have to have it. You don't have to be here. You know. Good evening, Hans. Well, thanks for all the compliments. That's why I'm promoting the record, I guess. You know, Rick called this damn record a masterpiece. And usually producers, when you make a record, they'll say that. I mean, I say usually, not always, but, you know, they want to be proud of their work. They don't want to feel like they wasted their time, especially if that's what they do all the time for a living, because, you know, that's their livelihood. So perhaps there's a lot of bias there. And perhaps what a masterpiece is undefined, or not defined the same way for me as it is for him. Maybe this is a masterpiece. Maybe this is all I'm capable of producing. This would be what I'm capable of in terms of creating a masterpiece. Maybe it's not that much of a masterpiece in terms of music and whatever, but for what I'm capable of, like, this was probably a pinnacle at that time. I have a hard time with saying I wrote a masterpiece, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now, I want to point this out because I don't know if I've ever brought this up other than to musicians, but there's this walk down that he does, and I expected to hear a minor note there, and he played a major note, and I asked him why, and he said because there's a giant refrain at the end that's gonna need that subtext and support for it to really hit. And I wasn't convinced until the end. So, continuing. You're almost at the end. Now, I wish I could open the session. I'm not going to do that because it'll fuck with the audio, but to hear the strings by themselves is actually quite something. There's a lot of guitars going on, and I'm curious if y'all have ears sensitive enough to hear that I'm completely ripping off a song with the one of the lead guitar parts. Hey, Alex, what's up, buddy? I'm just being interbulated today. I was 20 minutes late, and I'm off task, off purpose. I need to do my FPRD. Uh, I need ethics chits probably. You need to go write an ethics chit. I'm out reality today. All that. I'm a DB. Yes, I am a out ethics. I'm an ethics particle DB. I ripped off a song, a very popular song in the '90s. It's from my favorite band, if that gives it away. At least the artist. I basically totally ripped off a song. Let me roll it back and see if anyone can guess what it might be. And I won't spend too much time getting y'all to try to figure it out. But it comes in with the rest of the band. 'Today is the greatest.' I totally took that riff and put it in that song. But the song is in 6/8 and today is in 4/4. So I had to change it a little bit. But it's there, and now that you know that it's there, listen again. Swoon around and then they swoop down at the end, almost like an angel rescuing somebody. Yeah. So totally ripped off Today by the Pumpkins, and then that track. It's also literally the same notes because it's in B flat, A and B flat, and I'm playing the E flat. So anyway, music nerd stuff. Another track that sounds good instrumental is The Good Die Young. Yeah, you know what? Do you know Billy? Because I did apply to go play guitar for them, and I submitted my resume and all that, but I ain't heard nothing back. So if you talk to him, let him know that because he's all into the freaky circus stuff and the wrestling and just oddball shit. So like having a former Scientologist as a guitar player might be cool. But it's not happening. They're going on tour next month in the UK, in the EU. So At least that was the last I saw of the schedule. Um, that's amazing. Yeah. Uh, they were my, you know, go-to band back in the 90s. I know all of their material. That's the thing, is that I could play all of it. But I did say in the email, if this is one of those gigs where I'm supposed to play all of Billy's solos that he can't play anymore, and I'm like Johnny Guitar Guy, now I can play the solos, but like, I don't want to be just the guy that plays Billy's solos. Um, uh, no shit. James had a lot of great stuff that was on. Well, I mean, I say a lot. He didn't have a lot. The songs that he contributed were amazing. Blew Away. That guitar solo blew me away. There was a little meme reel on Facebook about the just this small little guitar part in Mayonnaise, and it's really hilarious. This guy's like, "Did the guitar just cry?" No, I think it's haunted. Um, Now that's wonderful to hear, Whitney, about James. I'm a big huge fan. I can't deny it. Like, I'm a huge Billy, Jimmy, and James fan. I do understand that Darcy was I don't know how to say it nicely, a tack on. You know, maybe the label said, "Hey, you need a chick in your band; it'd be cooler." But I do know that, as far as playing, she was not in this. She was not in, and as far as I know, is not in the same league, like, musically with James and Billy. Um. Oh wow, yeah, when they were dating, that's amazing. I say it's amazing. I'm not. No, it probably wasn't amazing, was it? The drama. Um. mm. Yeah. I would love to meet Billy. I think we'd have a lot in common, but also a lot to share. I mean, he dated Courtney. Courtney had some involvement with the Church of Scientology, at least so insofar as mentioning them in her credits of one of her albums, saying, "Thank you, Church of Scientology." Uh, and you know what about Darcy? On that note, you don't have to be a great player to play with the Pumpkins as a bassist. You do need to be able to play some guitar and play the hell out of some drums, but you don't have to be an amazing player. James kept it simple and melodic, and that is one of the things. Like, I loved the contrast between Billy and James in that way, and their writing styles. I feel like Billy just, wrote so much that stylistically, even though they ran the whole gamut of styles, especially with Melancholy and uh, some of their, like the album they released, Nothing But B-Sides, Pisces Iscariot. Um, yeah, I mean, I would have done the same thing as far as the studio goes. If you have a player, it's just a waste of precious studio time when if you can play the parts. You're in Hawaii, Willie? That's wild. Good die young. I wrote this a long time ago. I actually wrote this around 2005, 2006 when I came back from California. And I forgot how to play it, and I had to relearn how to play it for the record. It was one of the ones Rick selected. He was like, "We got to do this one." And I was surprised because the vocal on this is really low, and the rest of the album I'm singing high. But yeah, he said this one's got to go. It fits. Now that little clave part, I heard in my head, and I told Travis, I said, I asked Rick, is there claves here? Those are the little sticks you hit together. And he said, yeah, of course. Because I'm not used to being in studios that have everything. So yeah, of course he had claves. I'm like, dude, go out there and do like a nature type sound. And then I told Rick, what if we pan it? You know, I know that's like a simple thing, might be cheesy, but let's see how it sounds. And we very much adopted Rubin's methods. I know there's like this kid, some kid who's talking all kind of shit about Rick Rubin, and it's trending now on social media. I don't even know who that person is, but I've read some of their quotes about Rick Rubin, and he couldn't be more fucking wrong and idiotic. But we followed Rick Rubin's sort of lead on the willingness to demonstrate anything. Now that comes along with the experience of being in the studio. You need to have the experience to know what what to try, what, you know, like vet your own ideas before you spit them out. Think before you speak. Think about the music. But then also, whatever it is you want to experiment with, you should be willing to try it. And it works really well, because you'll either find out that that was a bad idea or it was a good idea. And according to Rick Rubin, who's produced a shitload of popular records, 80% of the time when people will come to him with an idea about something on the fly, which scares some people in the studio. They're like, oh no, we have to stick to the arrangement. We've planned all this for so long. Don't throw a new idea out. We already have ideas. Yeah, that can be a very real thing in the studio. So, because you're on studio time. Willingness to demonstrate. And you know, the willingness to demonstrate doesn't mean, and this is where the ego crap comes in. It doesn't mean that you're changing the song necessarily. It just means you're going to see what it sounds like. So I had this thing, I heard it in my head. I was like, we need to have some kind of sound that is a sort of transition or a creepy reminder of something. And I didn't really know how to explain it. I said, get the claves and do, and then we panned it, and then we got this. Very subtle. this brings me to a point about promoting the record, which I'm doing right now on a platform that I normally don't do this on. How in the hell are we supposed to play this live? It's the age-old question, like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. They made a fantastic record, and they got booked at Woodstock, and the guys were like, "Can you do this live?" And they're like, "We don't know." How the hell how are we supposed to do that live? Got to figure it out. Where we at? I'm just kind of waking up. Yeah. I'm all about playing some guitar for the Pumpkins. I sent their management my shit. So, Whitney, if you want to send a message and tell them my name, that would be awesome. I'm flexible. And the thing is, if I got a gig like that, I might not need to get on SSI. That would be fantastic. Because that's work that I can actually do. And we could talk about Scientology. Me and Billy and James and all the people that it's affected in their lives. Because I'm sure there's at least one person that had some involvement with it that they know. It's also, whatever. Hey, you know what? It's one of those things. Just toss a pebble. See if the ripple in still water. And they may have already found somebody. But if you ask anybody around here, they tell you that I'm probably the best candidate in Louisiana for sure. And I know like all of their material. And if I don't remember it, I can quickly relearn it. And I'm happy to take the load off of Billy on some of the stuff, but some of it, like, yeah, I just don't think that someone should be playing all of Billy's solos. And I don't want to be the guy to play all of Billy's solos. Oh, that's funny because in there, he said they picked up a new bass player. They said when they were looking for a new guitarist, they're like, "We're looking for a new guitarist," and in all caps, "not a bass player." I'd love to play bass, man. Doom do do doom do doom do do doom do do doom do. I don't know if they're playing any of the old stuff from the first record, but I Am One. I love that opener bass line. So yeah, Pinmill. This is the first track on the record. You know, it's weird to think that we won some kind of award for this. But we did. So it's Pinwheel, and Rick's arrangement is Middle Eastern block-ish, and it's in a major key, E major. And what he did with it was, you know, odd, queer, but it reminds me a lot. It reminds me sonically at times, especially when he does his first exposition of Kashmir. Let me know if you hear it. Whitney, this ain't a Pumpkins-inspired guitar solo. That was Pinwheel. F11. There we go. So yeah, there's me and a chicken. There's me at a basketball game. Now there's a basketball game tomorrow. The Pelicans. Broadcast engineering for the Pelicans. So this is probably my problem. Is that I do too much. Oh wow, that's old. Huh. That's new. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, there's my album promo. I really suck at promoting myself. I feel like it's, you know, you do your work and then you leave it, you know? It finds where it needs to go somehow. That's me trying to be all Buddhist and follow the principle of the master does his work and leaves it and goes on to the next thing. Yeah, that Middle Eastern bloc, not Eastern bloc, Middle Eastern bloc passages that Rick does. Like I could almost hear Robert Plant, doing his Kashmir style. Oh, let the sun be down upon my face. Could probably even sing that right over that part of it. And then I've got I say sadly, I actually like the song. I like Leonard Skinner. I just don't like what all they play. Hell yeah, Whitney, thanks. Could use all the free promotion I can get because I don't have a budget for that, obviously. The album wouldn't have been completed at all if it wasn't for the support from the people. I couldn't afford it. And it was in the middle of a damn quad hurricane season with a frozen hurricane, too. Ice storm, hurricane, COVID for no free bird. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No free bird. I'm sorry. Désolé. This is probably the only song that I can think of that is like, inspired partly by Leonard Skinner. I am a fan. I just don't like what they always play. Simple Man, and Freebird. That's like it. That's all they play. They don't play Give Me Back My Bullets. That's one of my favorites. I've only heard that song on the radio per request. And just so you know, I worked in broadcast radio. Requests have to go into time slots that you have to basically create because you have so many fucking advertisers and you run their ads in succession and then you buy yourself a minute, you buy yourself 30 seconds and whatever. And then you have time to play a request because otherwise it's you'll get the station manager up your ass, down your throat. This is the instrumental of Désolé. Closest I think we've ever sounded to Freebird, Leonard Skinner. Now, this song has lyrics that are really ambiguous. Sometimes you feel it and sometimes you don't. Just because you don't want to doesn't mean that you won't. Almost tongue twister, kind of riddly, kind of circuitous. But I find it to be true. It may be paradoxical, but yeah. Just because you don't want to feel something doesn't mean that you won't. And sometimes you will see some things coming and sometimes you won't. The other section of the verse is sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. You say don't close your eyes doesn't mean that you won't. And I feel so bad. I lost all that I had, and I can't think about you without feeling sad. Ambiguous. This is not necessarily about one specific person. It's about people. And then I remember the salt in the air. There's salt in the air here at the beaches. So I'm talking about being at the beach. And I remember smell of your hair. in the way that you didn't have a care in the world. And being at the beach with somebody and just feeling free. But I'm sorry, it's a lonely world. I know it's me. It's just my 2 cents. It's over and done with. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a lonely world. That last part is, I remember every time that you told me I would shine, seemed to me it was a sign in the world. Désolé. It's a lonely world. This song is really about, for me, it's about being disappointed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry this did the way it did. I'm sorry I did you the way I did, but I had my reasons, and sorry you feel used. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, it's a fucking lonely world, man, I guess, because if people are really sorry you feel that way, like, why did they do it to begin with? I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all, but, I'm sorry. Is what you got? Okay. Well, I think I'm better off alone. Yeah, that was Desolé. I got two unrequited music career stories. Um, but first, I want to address what Lorna said. Being alone solves a lot of problems. If you can, um, I'm not making an addendum to what you said. I'm making a whole separate statement. If you can be okay with yourself, I'm learning. The more you can do that, the more you can claim your uh, self. I'm not speaking prophetically or anything. I'm speaking very plainly and stupidly. But I think it is of great importance to be able to be okay with just you. That's I think that's very important. I guess it goes along with if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? Um, Amy Jean, it sounds like I'm sorry I hurt your stupid feelings. Yeah, that sums it up for Désolé. Great synopsis there. Um, you know, I wrote it as ambiguously as possible, but that song is about a relationship. It's about a couple relationships. One of them being my stepfather. But loosely could be interpreted in my own mind as many others as well. And the same in the first chorus or bridge, whatever you want to call it, chorus section. Um, I remember the salt in the air, and it was like, you know, this is great, but sorry. Um, oh, I never would have guessed that, Whitney. I lie. Oh, you seem very independent. Um, that's good. Uh, I think maybe some would disagree. You need people. Yeah, you need people, but you also need to be okay with you. You know, if you're not okay with who you are and you got inner conflict with that, and then you introduce another person and it can complicate it even further. So, yeah. The stories. So, there's a story about a band, and I won't name the names in case they watch this, but they played with, the singer played with his hero, the guy that got him to pick up the guitar in the first place. They played for years, and they were the same genre, style, music, and um, they opened up for this very large, very popular band. I can say the name of that band, the Reverend Horton Heat. And after the show, the Reverend Horton Heat, the Rev himself, said, "You guys need to come on the road with us." And the lead singer was just jaw drop. He's like, "Okay." The guitarist didn't have that same enthusiasm. He was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know." And that was the end of the opportunity. That's kind of how I've witnessed these opportunities come and go. You have this amazing opportunity, and if you don't take it, it's as fast as it came. That's as fast as it goes. Um, Another two guys were in the studio and were offered a a spot on a European tour a couple years ago. And one of the players said, well, as long as work schedule permits. And that was the end of that. And this was the opportunity. Whitney, And so to see those opportunities come and go, having seen them not just with myself, but with others, it's soul crushing. Soul crushing. Those are powerful words. But, that's the way I've seen it go down, where the opportunity is there for just a split second, and all it takes is a yes or a no. And if you have indecision and you have worked all this time towards that, and you have a bit of indecision at that moment after you've put all this time, effort, energy, love, passion, practice, all of that, and you say, I don't know, then usually the person that can give you that opportunity is aware that that kind of doubt and shit is just going to cause problems. So don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. It's a risk, right, Whitney? It must be 100% all in, no questions asked, usually. And some people are risk averse or have questions and yada, yada, yada. I will admit that I am a risk taker. I do that. Sometimes it's been good, sometimes it's been bad. I guess I can even reframe the bad, even the Scientology, as I'm grateful for. Because for all of the hell I went through, not just Scientology, but my family and everything, and my ex-wife, my divorce, and alienation from the kids and all this shit, I can look at that and be grateful for, because that put me through some really difficult things that I had to survive somehow. I had to be okay with myself and the decisions that I made. And I feel like that puts me in a position to handle future challenges and future opportunities better. There's been 1,000 opportunities pass me by. And I've only got, so much life left. Right? We only have so much life. We do not know when the time is for us to leave. When our work is done, however you want to put that. Oh, you're saying what I was just about to say, Sophia. There's only so much planning and researching you can do before saying, why the fuck not, and trusting it's figure-outable somehow. You took the words right out of my mouth, because that's where I was going. The reason I am willing to take risks is because at some point I took some risks and I realized, hey, there are things that you will not be able to predict. In fact, as an in Nashville when I was a young professional, I had that opportunity. They said, you want to go on the road with Ricochet? Yeah. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what I'd have to do. It was absolute terrifying hell, because there's all these important people around me and watching everything I do, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I have to figure it out. I have to figure out how to be a stage manager. but it was figure outable. It was tough. It was hard. It was stressful. I felt like I was being put through the ringer every single day, getting up at 6 in the morning, going to bed at 2 at night, falling asleep on the tour bus. Some of the best sleep of my life. Um, I am risk positive. I'm okay with risk, even big risks, because I know that you can figure it out. And the realization that you know there are people that won't even entertain that. They're just like, oh, well, that's not going to work because of this. That's focusing on that's not going to work because X, Y, Z. That isn't going to work for me anymore because I only got so much life left and I got stuff that I wanted to do. So it's figure outable. You can figure it out. I've been over backwards trying to figure things out only to find out that, some people just don't want to figure it out. They want it handed to them in terms that they understand, in a way that takes care of their concerns. I just have never seen it come to fruition that way. Not in this business, anyways, of music or film entertainment. Lorna, Ricochet, yeah, they were a country band back in the 90s. They had a hit song called Daddy's Money. And my roommate and I, Mark Robertson and I, were stage managers for them, Lone Star and Rascal Flatts. We were young to have that kind of job and clout to be a stage manager, and I'm pretty sure that we were cocky about it. But we probably had some reason to be because we were thrown into a meat grinder and figured it out, and the shows happened somehow. Shit breaking. People that are local crew that we have to manage plugging shit into the wrong things, and we have to go run the cables, whatever. Yeah, 7 Bridges Road. Yeah, they redid that and they sang it. I would go to Talladega Speedway and hook up their wireless mics and sit in the tour bus and wait for them to finish singing 7 Bridges Road because I couldn't stand hearing the cars. Talladega Nights. There are stars. And they practice on the bus. Incredible singers. Ricochet, full of talent. Singer was also really more like a drill sergeant for me. He gave me a hard time a lot. But I also would play guitar on the bus. I don't think he liked that at all. And this was, back in another time. The tour manager himself told me, he was like, look, United Artists, employs you, but when it comes to what you do here, you do this specific job, and we don't care. Nobody cares that you're a musician. Nobody cares about your guitar playing. Nobody cares about your songs. If you're trying to get into the industry, you're in the wrong place. You're on that side of the aisle. You're in the production side. So, I don't even know what to make of that comment. I had to take a quantum chemistry in college so I could figure out anything usually. Quantum chemistry sounds pretty complicated. Yeah, Willie. Dale was actually, he was still alive back then. I remember Heath getting pictures with him and stuff. But yeah, opportunity. They say sometimes some opportunities come once in a lifetime. I've seen people throw that opportunity away with a simple, I don't know, face. Or with a slight hesitation. Recognizing the opportunity is a huge part of it. What did that person just offer you? It seems too good to be true most of the time. And so you doubt. But if you take a risk and you figure it out, that opportunity, that once in a lifetime opportunity that you thought was too good to be true, actually was real. And maybe you are worth something. Maybe you do have something that somebody else or the world doesn't have or needs to see or hear or experience. You may be able to bring that thing to the world. And it's sad. All of those stories end sadly where the person didn't take the opportunity. And it's funny because there are so many other opportunities that are knowingly not really great opportunities that artists will take over and over and over and over again. And they'll take those opportunities, but the one opportunity that actually seems too good to be true, because it is, they doubt it. Because they doubt themselves. And if it's just you, then fine. That's your choice. If you're participating in something and the stated goal is the opportunity to present itself and you pass on it, that's something to reflect on. Maybe look at what it is you really want to be doing and consider that when you decide to participate in said activity or art form. Yeah, Sophia, that's a good point. So what if it isn't the best time you ever had? I'd rather kind of regret trying something than asking myself, what if? And, I got to say that, just like I said a while ago, tons of opportunities that artists take that are way less than optimal, but they hope for something. And they do it because they rather regret trying than to ask what if. But when an opportunity, a rare opportunity comes up, it seems too good to be true, and there's doubt in themselves or whatever, they're, whether they're aware of it or not, if they're some sort of arrangement of people, and they're not on the same page about it, it can be soul crushing. So this is why I do my own thing now, because I'm the one that can make the decision. I'm the only one anymore that will make that decision. Unless I can get it in writing, which seems easy, but getting people to to quote Boiler Room and that other movie with Alec Baldwin, to get them to sign on the line which is dotted. Yes, Whitney, absolutely. And I know about a lot of them, or read about a lot of them. This is how I was able to see what was happening in front of me when they would happen, to know, oh, this is an actual real opportunity. Your comment is in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of great artists didn't want to sell out and missed out on good opportunities to be ripped off by the labels. You're right there, too. I'm actually grateful that I never signed any contracts with any major labels because they're criminal organizations. I would like to see massive reform in the music business, and or just burn the music business down and figure out something else. This is a common problem we're having in multiple institutions, but just the erosion of there's a couple of things going on specifically in the music business. There's the erosion of like fresh music that is unadulterated. By unadulterated, I mean not overproduced, and that is the artist truly, genuinely, authentically expressing themselves and the topics that exist in the social framework that we're in. I don't hear a lot of music about that because if we did, there might be social upheaval. There might be, in some way, social upheaval. There might be some kind of social consequence. It's much better to have Coca-Cola. It's much better to just use these artists to promote the same old fucking ideas that have been around that don't cause social upheaval or don't cause questions. Why are you questions? No questions. Absolutely, Willie. There's a reason why I love Prince. That's one of them. The Warner stuff. And there's an album called Chaos and Disorder. This was a contractually obligated album that he had to do in the 90s to compete with the grunge movement. He hated this record. I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's Prince doing fucking his version of what alternative rock would be. I highly recommend you check it out. It's on Spotify, Chaos and Disorder. But he absolutely hated the record. And this was when they were saying, you can't be Prince. We own you. And there's some clips circulating now of Prince talking about shit way back in the day that, you know, back then I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And now it's 20 years fucking later. And now people are like, look, he's right. It's like, no shit, he's right. He's been right for fucking 20 years. Why hasn't anything been done? The labels go lobby DMCA 2.0. They have no understanding of how this shit works. You know, artists barely have an understanding of how this shit works. Inspiration is not always easy to come by. And, yeah, Prince has been right since 1985. Sure. It's, honestly, if I'm being totally transparent about it, it's like the Hunter S. Thompson quote. The music business is a shallow money trench where pimps and thieves run free and good men die like dogs in the trenches. And then there's also a negative side. That quote indicates, and this is Hunter S. Thompson, who's hung out with motorcycle clubs, record company executives, politicians, police organizations, all the nastiest of the nasty. And that's his quote about the music business. You could extend that. I would extend that to the film business. You look at all of the fucking rape and sexual abuse and leveraged contracts where you are imprisoned. It's slavery. Reform? I mean, how do you reform that? You don't. You end it. So how do we do that? I don't know. The message on my album is don't give up. I don't know what to do, though, about all of that. But seriously, the music and film business, historically, as long as I've been alive, is one of my goals in the Octane Sound Network, which is nothing, just a little drop in the bucket, and Delta Gold Media, is development. Now, that is something that existed before. They had artist development. But what do you think Justin Bieber's artist development was like? You know, when he was 15, he's hanging out with P. Diddy, apparently going to sex parties. That's development? That's artist development? It's fucking disgusting. And there's a movie coming out soon about... Oh, God. It makes me so depressed to think about... what happened to... Oh, you guys help me out. Try to make me go to rehab. I said, no. Amy Winehouse. The development of Amy Winehouse was not development. It was the destruction. It was like Satan himself showed up and said, oh, yeah, we're going to get you. We're going to make you so famous and you're going to fucking we're going to get you on drugs. We're going to pimp you out. We're going to do your hair up. We're going to give you all the drugs and all the access that you want. We'll give you a Grammy. Kurt Cobain. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and it goes back as far back as the music business. And the music business and the film business are criminal. They started as criminals, picking up Africans here in Louisiana and Mississippi when they were free people of color, and they're like, hey, you want to make some money, Negro? Hop on this bus. We'll feed you sometimes. And they were happy to have it because they got to eat. They got to travel. But they were slaves, okay? Make no mistake about that shit. And slavery is still here. Slavery still exists. Slavery still exists. Now, I'm not saying that Taylor Swift doesn't live a life of opulence and luxury and privilege. But slavery comes in many different forms. Watch some period pieces about old Europe and how families would essentially enslave members of families for whatever reason, political, geopolitical, economic reasons. And these people were trapped in these lives. You think we should have reduced rights for women? I know that's not what you meant, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, being a woman trying to break into the music business, fuck, man. Like, how many dicks do you have to suck? How many times do you have to get fucked and raped? Not even to make it big, just to fucking gig. I mean, I know people personally who have experienced this. This is one of my good friends spent 12 years gigging, and the trauma that she accrued in that period of time is enough to spin anybody out. I'm so thankful she's still here. It's so wrong. It's so fucked. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Yet at the same time, this is how I learned to sublimate. And I know that that music and artists, music or not, kind of show us a glimpse of the future. And we're not being shown that. And it's by design, because it's not making money, and it also precipitates some kind of change. Music has the power to do that. Art has the power to do that. Images, photos, film, it all has the power to change fundamentally an overall collective conscious or awareness. And it's powerful. And people seek power. There are people who seek that power and want to control it. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. The music business is dead. The film business is in its last throes of death. Hallelujah. Holy shit. Now what? I know that this is relevant and real because I speak to people who work still with what's left of the major labels. And no one knows what the fuck to do. So don't give up, I guess. I've been getting quoted my own shit. And when I get quoted my own shit, I get a little irritated. Just like, hey, I said that. Now you're telling me to follow my own advice? So we're real good at that, huh? We give advice, we can't follow it ourselves. So I was 20 minutes late. I'm sorry. My bad. I thought it was going to rain. I figured that would wake me up. It didn't. Still not raining. And it's already noon. It said it was going to start at noon. Weathermen don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. Y'all have so many good, so much good insight. I like getting together on Mondays and doing this because I always walk away with something. Sometimes it's something really, I don't know, a perspective, a different perspective. Sometimes it's a piece of information I didn't know. Sometimes it's really good advice. Sometimes it just, I enjoy it. So, and it's a way for me to start my week. This week, this is the last 2 weeks I've been humping it. And my body hurts. And, there's kid stuff going on, which I am grateful to see them and to be a part of their life again. Whitney says it takes a special person to walk away from that manipulation, but there are people who do, and they usually are truly great artists and musicians. Yeah. Well, After I read Stephen Moore's book, one of my mentors, he's an international licensing attorney. I read that book in 2004, 2005, and he basically wrote in 480 pages every possible scenario that could happen and including all the scenarios I had been involved with in the music business. And it was no bullshit. It's why it's called The Truth About the Music Business. I can't recommend that book enough. It got blackballed. He got blackballed from Music Row because he told the truth in the late 90s about what was going to happen. And no one wanted to hear it because they have shareholders, whatever, stockholders, executives, whatever, that want to keep flying their Lear jets and keep their artists paid somewhat. But more so just to sell physical units, physical copies, physical. But it was ridiculous because everyone that blackballed him was losing their jobs. They saw what he was saying happening in real time, and they're still holding on to the ball. Like, no, you can't take it. No. We'll go Congress. We'll do DMCA. We'll sue people. We'll get this. We'll do that. None of it worked. And it won't work. Whatever it is, the old model thinks will work, ain't gonna fucking work. And if you, for God's sake, if you have any friends that are musicians that want a record deal, refer them to that book, The Truth About the Music Business. It's the only book that you need to read, in my opinion. And it will thoroughly disabuse people of the idea that that's what they want, because it explains what it is. If you want to do something like that, you're better off going to a bank, getting your credit score decent, going to a bank and taking out a fucking huge, the biggest loan you can get, and funding yourself. That would be a better option, because then at least you own yourself. Unlike Prince. Prince didn't own himself until he was able to pay for himself. And same with old girl who's playing in October. I almost said Britney Spears. Who's another casualty of the music business. Taylor Swift, she had to do covers of her own shit to make some money. Anyway, soapbox stuff. Since I was late 20 minutes, I'm going over 20 minutes. It's 3.5 minutes left. Let's play Stubborn, because that seems to fit the mode of the music business and film business that insists on continuing business as usual, which is bullshit. Stubborn. Whitney, you think Taylor is amazing, taking on Ticketmaster. I think that is a bunch of made up, let's make Taylor look. It's PR. She has amazing fucking PR. If it was her idea, awesome. I don't think it was. See, they look at demographics and like, how can we get more of these types of people listening to Taylor? How can we get everyone listening? They also have taken a lot of pages out of the Korean music business models book for Taylor. BTS. I don't know. I'm very interested in Taylor Swift in about 10 years. Stubborn. Kill the fucking music business. Kill the film business. We got to do something else. This is bullshit. All it is doing is creating more hurt people. and dead people. And people that shouldn't be dead. Jimi Hendrix shouldn't be dead. Stevie Ray Vaughan, as much as I cringe, shouldn't be dead. Tina Turner shouldn't have had to go through what the fuck she went through. They all were like, show goes on, Tina. Show must go on. I know that you're getting your ass beat and all that, and your husband might kill you, but show must go on. Get out there. Stubborn. All right. Well, that about does it. Talk about John Prine. I'm going to start crying. I agree with you, Willie. He should have never gotten it. He should have never been playing them shows they had him doing. But guess what? He's trending. You're trending. Sturgill Simpson likes you. Sturgill Simpson is big. Come play shows. Come expose yourself to COVID. End up in the hospital. End up dead. John lived a long life. John had a decent career. He was underrated and underserved, but he left us a legacy. So until next week, next time, whatever, live long and prosper. Go forth this week and kick ass. Carpe diem. Carpe those diems. Whitney, don't forget to tell Billy to check his email. No, I am serious. And tell him to call his management company, Red Light Management, and to check my shit. It's Devontae LaFleur. I've got the solo from Pinwheel. He'll hear it. He'll be like, "Oh, this guy listened to me way too much." I could use the gig. It might get me out of it might be awesome. But also have that healthy fear of meeting your heroes, because I've done that before too. Y'all have a great week. Much love to everybody. And I'll probably be here Thursday doing some KFUK, K fucking around. And some interviews. So, yeah. I'm going to go drink some more coffee. I still don't feel awake. Thank you, Martha. Pleasure as well. All right.